When I started seeing the promotional material for these movies, when it comes to the trailers, the posters, the VFX in the trailers, and then these abysmal reviews we've been getting from the Rotten Tomatoes critic reviews, my expectations went down into the dumps. But is this the dumpster fire disaster that everyone is saying it is and has been advertised to be? Let's talk about it. Returning to our home planet, Pandora, an infamous bounty hunter named Lilith forms an unexpected alliance with a ragtag team of misfits. Together they battle alien monsters and dangerous bandits to uncover one of Pandora's most explosive secrets. Let's just get this right out of the way. What I actually think worked for this film, I think that the actors, the people who were casted, were fully committed to the characters they were playing, the world that was being built, and the tone that was being set throughout the movie. Kevin Hart, who from the get-go I knew was seriously miscast as Roland. Come on, guys. Terry Crews is right there. He was right there. But I gotta say that he did a solid job as like a commando style leader who was serious throughout most of the movie, had little quips here and there. He reined in his antics that he would usually do in most of his movies, and I was surprisingly taking him very seriously. He's not doing like a transformative job here. He's still just Kevin Hart, but a serious Kevin Hart. He's still not the right person to play this character, but I wish this was a character he was playing in a different film, not called Borderlands. Ariana Greenblatt, I'm a big fan of her. She's nailed every single role I've ever seen in her as young Gamora, her as the silent girl from 65, her as Ahsoka, her as the daughter from Barbie, and she nails it again here as Tiny Tina. She captures the chaotic, fun, silliness of Tina really well. And if she was in any other movie, if this was called anything else or of a better quality, this would have been a star-making performance for her. And it's because she brought depth to this character, even though they didn't write that much depth for her. Her acting ability did a really good job there. She had solid comedic moments throughout. One of the few characters that actually generally funny throughout the movie. Did the action really well, and she had amazing chemistry with every single character on screen, and it was really the glue that held the group together. And Cate Blanchett took her leading role in this film very seriously. Everything she did in this film was very believable. I was engaged in her character because of the performance she gave and how much she seemed like she cared about what was happening in the movie on screen and what was happening with her character at all times. She rose above the paper thin writing of this film. She really brought some grit and physicality and spunk to the character that I really liked. I don't think that she should have been Lilith, but I think she did a really great job with the version of Lilith that we got here. And I think if you have any bright spots, you'll really appreciate her at least. She's Cate Blanchett. She's one of the best actors in the world right now. So she really brought her A game. And that's one thing I'll say about a lot of the actors in here. I don't think anyone phoned it in. So I really appreciate that. And her and the relationship she has with Ariana Greenblatt's Tina is kind of the heart of the film. The little bit of heart that it has, they are the heart of the film. But the highlight of the film and one of its saving graces is the casting of Jack Black as Claptrap. Claptrap in the video games is a really fun character. Talks so much that it annoys you, but very resourceful and useful, and annoying, like I said. Is like the character from the video game leapt onto the screen. It was like the perfect casting, the perfect version of that character. One thing that they really got right about the Borderlands games, they did Claptrap very beautifully. He was really funny throughout the film. He's one of the only things that got like a big reaction out of my little crowd that went to go see this, because of his jokes were just on time and he was just nonstop, but not annoying. Like they knew when to shut him up and when to bring him in, and he was just great. And you couldn't even barely tell that it was Jack Black. If I didn't know beforehand, I probably just would wonder who the hell did this. They did a great job. So if you are a Claptrap fan, they did him right.
Perfect. Everything down to the last minute details.
Now let's talk about where this film goes wrong when it comes to fans of the game and just a general audience that don't know anything about the game but is looking for a good time. Fans like me, it's not really the story of Borderlands that really gets us invested in that game. It's the raunchiness, it's the controversial humor. This game's gotten in trouble multiple times, especially the third one, just for its cover. The gore, the violence, the quirky lore that it has, so many different weapons, like 1,000 different weapons from different weapon companies from that game that people love. love to pair up and play with different attachments and acid and plasma and all these different things. And then the things that you fight, the monsters and the aliens that you fight throughout with the crazy different kinds of bandits, right? Because this movie is PG-13, all of the charm, the wit, and everything that you associate with Borderlands is stripped from it and replaced is with like what people think Marvel movies sound like. Just quips, immature jokes, and things that just do not land. Like the comedic timing just does not land really well here. And every time they had an opportunity to take a big swing or do something really cool action wise, they go through the most basic stuff. So like the action's not bad, but it's never really super exciting. It just feels like a shell of what it could have been with eye-rolling, inducing jokes.
Look at my eyes, roll them, yep.
And what this should have been Mad Max and Star Wars combined if it was done really well. But instead what we get is Suicide Squad and Guardians of the Galaxy Diet Soda style combined, unfortunately. Plot and the character dynamics is super thin. Outside of the people I just highlighted in the beginning of this review, everyone else is either forgettable or doesn't get enough like emotion or a motive that you just really don't care or won't really remember them past the time that the credits start rolling. And the villain of this, the Atlas, who's the villain of this movie, is almost bad as Ezekiel Sims from Madam Web, but without bad ADR. He just had a really terrible performance throughout the movie. I never believed him to be this sinister guy or anything that they were trying to do. I never believed anything he was doing on screen. I don't know what the actor name is. I didn't even want to go look him up. I don't think he's even important enough to talk about. I hate to be disrespectful, but it was just a poor try with the good guys trying so hard to make this movie work despite the problems it has, and you know, them fully buying into their characters and everything. For the villain guy to not have as much fun and try, it was just really disappointing. At least give us that. If you're not going to adapt the game and do everything properly, let everyone have fun so we can have, let's say, like at least the movie's fun even though it's not done properly. So if you're not a fan of the game, you can be like, yo, this movie was fun, but there's just not enough in this movie to entertain people who never played the game, because the movie doesn't take its time to explain things to the general audience so they can get invested in what's happening. And it doesn't help that I've never felt like anyone was in true danger in this film. Everything feels super low stakes. All the action that happens, while well choreographed for the most part, feels like they're just pit stops of action until we get to the very predictable ending. I didn't hate my time with this film. I laughed a little bit throughout. I had fun with some of the action character dynamics, but that's sparse throughout this hour and 40-minute runtime. The movie's not even that long. But I can't in good conscience recommend people to go run out and pay top dollar to go watch this movie. I know tickets are expensive for a lot of people. If you are an AMC A-list member, if you're a Regal Unlimited member like I am, then I would say go watch it. It's basically free. Unless you have something else to watch. If you want to watch Deadpool and Wolverine again, go watch the other 2 movies that came out this weekend. Then don't watch it. But if you have watched everything you wanted to watch and don't have any other activities you want to do, go check Borderlands out. It's super inoffensive. It's not as bad as the critics are saying. It's not like it's gonna like piss you off and has some terrible performances, but it's just not really that exciting to delve into. So with that said, I'm gonna give it a D. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What would you rate Borderlands if you saw it? Do you think it's an absolute disaster like the 3%, 4% it has on Rotten Tomatoes? Or do you think people are being a little too harsh and it's just a mediocre film? Let me know in the comments down below how you feel. Like the video if you like my review. Attack that subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be notified of my reviews, reactions, live discussions, and much more. And you can watch more content right now.